Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And welcome to episode 22.
22?
Our show's Old Enough to Drink.
And we
Podcast.
drinking, baby.
Woo!
We drinking, baby.
Today we're going to be talking Star Wars.
Always.
Which is kind of weird.
Right?
I was looking for a change of pace, but
I mean, I guess
I'm
we
going to get my fix with Star Wars.
Y'all got some of that Star Wars stuff, man. We got our guest, Drew, today. As you notice, we're missing Sarah
And
Tim. They're on their way. So,
But we can auction off those seats for...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bidding is starting at 3 Bitcoins.
No, Bitcoin's on the... Well, that's high enough now.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
do it.
Okay. Well, let's introduce ourselves, and as our other hosts come in, they can introduce themselves as well.
Hostess with the mostest.
You are
Mika Ki.
Increíble, mano.
Okay, you're right. It's just Micah.
Hi, I'm Lewis.
I'm Izzy. Don't panic.
Yes. Oh, and along those lines, don't forget to go to your YouTube channel. Are you still posting it?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Hashtag.
Hashtag not posting. And you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Drew Pettis.
All right, Drew. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to
What's up, buddy?
talk about Star Wars today, mostly about going over The Last Jedi again, some things that we liked. I know Micah took down some notes that he wanted to talk about.
Of course I did.
Tim also wanted to talk
The
about
best notes.
the best.
Believe me.
They
the
are
best notes.
Yes, and as they should stay as notes.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Tim also had some things he wanted to talk about. I'll let him delve into that a little bit more in the show.
We're going to call the section of the show called Timmy's Tantrums.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That.
We just got a new bit. Timmy's Tantrums. I love it.
Love it.
But in the meantime,
Timmy's Tantrums. Today. Totally. Alliteration.
all T's. All
Hashtag
T's all the time. Well, we got some questions for you coming up a little bit later in the show, Drew.
Okay.
We'd like to have your input on. Man, where did my notes go? I lost my notes.
Micah has them.
Oh.
Good thing you didn't lose your marbles.
I know. What is
What
that?
notes?
The coupons.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're over there.
Those aren't your notes.
Sorry, Micah.
Yeah, that's okay. Just
And
throw me down.
so
Must start.
I'm excited about your Dear Diary later.
Oh
today.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, I didn't get
Intense.
any music, but I can find some.
You guys can sing to me, I guess.
Oh. But
You really sure we want to do that?
I'm quite interested in, and later on, Drew, we're also going to ask you to rank all the Star Wars movies
Okay.
for
So
us.
much fun.
Yes, it's a lot of fun and kind of challenging too, because they're all Star Wars movies and we love them all, but we got
Well,
to
apparently
rank
some are easier than the others. Right, isn't
Mrs. 25.
I'm thinking between 1 and 100. Okay,
25.
17 is my number.
I really love the movie Solitaire 2. But
I got a fever. The only prescription is more Jaja.
more cowbell. I think that, not I think, but I know for sure that out of everybody sitting at the table, plus our two hosts that are missing, which are Mr. Tim and Sarah, Micah and Izzy are the only two that have seen it, The Last Jedi, more than once.
Uh-huh.
So I'd like to delve into a little bit.
Have you seen
I've only seen it the one time with you guys.
it? That's not what I asked.
Oh, what'd you ask?
Have you seen it again?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
No, I haven't. So I want to get y'all's guys' input. Yep.
I'm all mad at you.
Is that better?
Get away from me. God dang it. No,
I
just to
my-
make sure they catch your face.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my beautiful face. How do y'all feel now about The Last Jedi? Do Do you feel the same? Do you feel different? As a matter of fact, when I posted the behind the scenes from last episode, and I said, "Are we going to rank the movies?" and you said, "Yeah, we should rank them."
Yeah, Lewis is a great idea.
But, you see, yeah. But you said we should leave room for adjustments.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Izzy, it's as good as the first time?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't cry all the second time, just because.
Longer than 5 seconds.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
a little, but yeah, I think it was as good as the first time. There's some things I noticed, but I researched it first, and then I went to the movie, and I was starting to catch things. I was like, okay.
Very good, very good. Micah?
It kind of reassured the score I gave it, and it's not that I was questioning it, but there were some scenes there's some things that I was looking out for this time,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess I'm more accepting of a couple scenes I was harsh on still. I mean, I still draw those, I don't want to call them concerns, but those decisions, but I guess I'm more at peace with it.
Okay.
Like Mary Poppins Leia.
Mm-hmm. Drew, what did you think about that scene?
You're she needed the umbrella, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, talk to us a little bit about that scene, Drew.
That scene, well, my mom and I were about to cry because that's another favorite character of many people. Mm-hmm. And then I knew that she is a force wielder, just not as much as, Luke or anyone else. Mm-hmm. But when I first noticed that her hands starting to move, I was like, they can't kill her off yet.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
And so what did you think about the actual scene itself?
That Kylo Ren pushed the button?
No, where she kind of reached out to the ship.
Oh, reached out?
Yeah.
Are you just, I think what we're trying to get at is, obviously I think you're happy that she survived, yes. But what's your opinion that we had never seen her use the Force, we just assumed it at this point, at least as far as movies on screen. And then now we see not only can she use the Force, but she can fly through and levitate through space.
I think off screen, because it's been many years since we last seen them. I think Luke might taught her a few tricks in there to survive. So that's probably how she was able to tap into it real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
And able to survive.
And so you're okay with that scene?
Oh yeah,
cool.
Yeah. Because it's a meme now, so
it is.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw the Mary Poppins ones, I was like, that's gold right there, man.
Yeah, I like that scene as well. You know what I mean? Like you said, it could be Luke trained her to do some things, or maybe she was training on her own. We don't know. It was a 30-year gap, 33-year gap, 35-year gap, somewhere around there.
Fair amount of time,
yeah.
I mean, too, and also, you would assume Luke taught her something.
Yeah,
I'm definitely on board with that. But also, it might also be too kind of an innate thing. Mm-hmm. Like she's about to die, and it's kind of oh, I need to get over there.
Yeah,
and she's starting to tap into things she didn't even know was there, kind of like Rey, in episode 7. So.
I was reading online, and it said that.
That'll get you in trouble.
What's her name? Kathleen Kennedy?
That'll get you in trouble. Reading online.
She said that she wanted to make that scene emotional as possible, especially the flying Leia.
Yeah.
And she was the time gap of not seeing her do anything. Everyone was you know,
this is where she's gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of that feeling.
Because they are an emotional terrorist in this movie, and they do, and they do keep that lingering effect. So you're unsure of you're waiting for the pin to drop, you're waiting for that second movement to happen. So she's just there, emotional into space, and you gonna do anything?
Yeah.
And then the last second before you've almost abandoned all hope, and then she wakes, then she opens her eyes. So it's hey, there she is.
Yeah.
So I'll give them props for that. But I think that is definitely something that is different that we're starting to see in this new age of films, which, I mean, it makes sense than what we've seen in the past, because it's always been this complete thought, this complete concept after the movie ends. And then now it's drawing out. Like episode 7, it's like, here's your lightsaber, and then it cuts. You know?
Yeah.
It's not this complete thought. Because it keeps that hook so far back in your mouth, you're itching for more.
Yeah.
You're itching to find out just simply what happens. And so I think that's definitely, they are taking a new spin on this.
You know, and that goes to say, Micah, I'm sorry to cut you off there.
You know what I was saying? If I had a nickel for every time this guy would say that to me in a day,
you know,
I had a couple nickels. No,
yeah.
I had a couple nickels.
2 nickels. I'm
for $1.
I want to say and bring up this to see what you guys think. You know, The Last Jedi is getting a lot of heat because there are things that are incomplete, kind of incomplete thoughts or incomplete scenes. Not incomplete, well, kind of incomplete scenes or incomplete backstories or whatever the case may be.
Ray's parents are.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I found this, I forgot what website it was on, but I saw this. Did you see this, Micah? I'm going to read it. It says, it's a snapshot. Crazy rumor says Disney is, quote unquote, fixing Star Wars The Last Jedi. So yeah,
This is what it is. I've seen that. I'll let y'all have.
How are they gonna fix it?
I'll let y'all say what y'all.
Fix it for the next movie, or fix this movie.
Fix this movie. So what do you think about that?
Why? Oh.
So you're in complete disagreement? What do you think, man?
If they're gonna do like they did with the Return of Jedi, because in the original Darth Vader had eyebrows. Remember that?
Oh yeah, when he took his mask off,
and
Sebastian Shaw had like eyebrows,
and then they went and fixed it, and they
took it out.
Right.
So, and
I can't think it's burning. Gonna have hair again.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, Drew. I don't think that necessarily. I'm thinking story-wise. Yeah.
Like a backstory, hopefully.
I don't get what they mean by fixing it.
They're trying to say that this movie in itself is a flop.
Even though it's made over $1 billion, it's a flop.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah. That's stupid. And I think we can even quote myself going back to episode 1 of this podcast. It's likened to what it's a little bit different because it just came out, but it's George Lucas manipulating the movies and changing the story, changing what you saw, the presentation of it. 10, 20, 30 years later, like when he started doing the reduxes to episode 4, 5, and 6, he's changing the story. You can't do that. I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's George Lucas, Kathleen Kennedy. This is what we saw. This is The Last Jedi. Anything other than that is a perversion of it. It's bullshit. I don't agree that they should be doing that at all. However, in speaking to that, I respected what J.J. Abrams did. Like, he brought us a really great movie. He truly did with episode 7. But I think there was a problem in the execution now having seen episode 8 only because he wanted to leave it open so he didn't completely dictate where the storyline was going to go. Mm-hmm. And as a matter of fact, he left it so open but he did kind of made certain suggestions that you can see in the movie, kind of like maybe who Ray's parents are. Mm-hmm. And then now Rian Johnson comes in and he made a great movie too. But it is not as cohesive between episode 7 and 8. They're not as linear. They don't connect as well because you have two different thoughts. Mm-hmm. And you have basically Rian Johnson overbearing what J.J. Abrams said, even though he left it as open as he did. And I think the problem with that is we don't have a complete story. Until we see episode 9, I'm sure J.J. Abrams will do well to bring it back, everything into the fold, the kind of director he is, but seeing some of those inconsistencies that we have. Mm-hmm. But that with J.J. Abrams really not setting anything in stone, and then with Rian Johnson now setting some of his things in stone, like that's the movie. It kind of like it's almost like a whiplash effect, and that's not being objective about episode 7 and episode 8. That's looking at both of them together. Is that I think the problem is because they didn't have that clearly set, and then when Rian Johnson did his, it's just kind of like. Oh, okay, they're going this direction now.
Yeah.
And we know, like, J.J. Abrams is not going to make it where it's a whiplash effect going back, but now his hands are somewhat tied and trying to wrap up the story in episode 9 because that's not the vision he had for it.
Yes.
And I think that's what the problem is, and that's why we're seeing crap like that for episode 8. We were saying they're wanting to redo things.
Yeah.
I hope that if, he's going to have a hard time, like, wrapping it up in this one movie, that they do 2 parts. I hope they do 2 parts.
Oh, God.
I don't think so. Like, how...
Episode 9.
How, like, Harry Potter did it, and The Hunger Games, and Twilight at the very end, their last movie.
So it's not really a trilogy, it's a quadrilogy.
Yeah, but then they would throw it out of scene.
Because it would be episode 10 then. They would have to do episode 10 now.
Yeah, it's not like a Star Wars thing to do, but, I mean...
So you would like to see...
I would love to see that, yeah.
I think that'd be kind of interesting, because when they were talking about, like, will it be in episode 10?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if they just never publicly said it? And then... the closer you get to it, you start to hear rumors about it. But then you're going through episode 9, like, well, what the fuck's going on? We will be back for episode 10 or something. Because it feels like there is so much in play right now that you're not going to be able to wrap it up in one movie without leaving a lot of shit on the table.
Yeah.
Or at least to cut scenes.
That's true. And I brought it up before, but what do you guys think about possibly this story continuing? Like, let's say they go up to 10, stop. Right? Then they've stopped for, let's say, 10 years. 5 to 7 years?
Sorry, I just thought of something.
5 to 7 years. And then they bring it back up, episode 11, 12, 13, and on, with Rey and Kylo Ren's story continuing on.
I don't think I could wait that.
No?
I couldn't wait long.
Because if they ended up as a cliffhanger, then people want more then.
And
I think it shows a move of desperation.
Yeah.
If you wait that long without with a continuation like that, they're gonna be like, "Oh, they're just coming back to this to make more money."
Mm-hmm.
People will think that.
So they
even if it makes sense
need to continue going.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of looked like when it started up again. Like, they're just doing it just for more money.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Okay, with iPhone, they have iPhone. They had 6, they had 7, they had 8, and then they jumped to 10 for iPhone X.
Yeah.
What if they just fuck episode 9? We have episode 10 for you.
10.
Yeah.
X.
X marks the spot kind of thing. I'll just.
Oh my god.
Did you miss a lot? Look, the animated series on Cartoon Network.
That's right.
What the hell? How was Rey? What? She has one arm?
What? What's going on here?
What did we miss?
Y'all missed a lot.
Where the hell are you jokers, man?
For real. No, so Mike, I know you were talking about, you had made notes about The Last Jedi.
I talk a lot apparently, but yeah.
I mean, I'm going to ask Drew this later, but in your opinion, and I'll ask you too, Izzy, I'll ask everybody at the table. Drew, we're going to wait for you so you can think about it. Who do you think is the Last Jedi? Who's the most useless character in this new trilogy, as opposed to just The Last Jedi?
The new trilogy or the last?
The new trilogy.
Who's the useless character?
The most.
3PO.
Oh!
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah.
Who are you expecting?
I was expecting Finn.
Who?
Finn.
Finn has his
moments.
I mean, Finn has his moments, but Finn is necessary. 3PO has no. 3PO is simply a nostalgic effect that what Episode 8 is doing so much to get away from. Episode 8, ineffectively, is trying to. He's telling, like Kylo Ren says it. I know I've told you, Lewis, and Kylo Ren says it in the movie. It's very much what we see in Episode 7. As long as there's still light, there's still a chance before Kylo Ren, I'm going to kill you, Han Solo. But in Episode 8, Kylo Ren says it, let the past die, kill it if you have to. Episode 8 is very much finally doing the passing of the torch that Episode 7 is supposed to be, and effectively wiping off everything, every remnants that you had from Episodes 1 through 6. And moving on, I'll get to him in a second. But Luke is gone. Leia, unfortunately, will be gone into the next movie somehow. Well, there should be enough scenes that they had that they'll make it into Episode 9. But she's gone. Okay, it's just a sad fact. Han is gone. Chewie, I don't know yet, but it's very much like the key components that made up Star Wars is gone. It's kind of like leaving your kid, the world, leaving it for the next generation. Like we are now in the moment where we will finally see what will happen to these people, this universe, these characters, on their own. Mm-hmm. And so seeing 3PO is simply a nostalgic effect. He has no real point or relevance in the movie. R2 is necessary at the end of episode 7. He had to wake up so they could find where Luke was at. R2 was also pivotal in episode 8 because he had to kind of kick Luke's ass, metaphorically speaking, to wake his ass up and be like, dude, you need to do something.
Yeah.
And we have a host back.
Who is it?
Dun, dun, dun.
It's me. Hey, what's
spell
up,
that
Sarah?
like with one E's or two?
You like 8.
Sound before at least, yeah.
We got your coffee right over here.
Yeah.
Got some creamer over here for you.
Cool.
Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Sarah.
Been here before?
The Honorable
Judge Goolsby.
Yeah.
She will be needed in our next podcast.
Oh.
I'm waiting to hear too.
Okay.
Yes, we have opposing views, so we'll need your services.
So this, I'm sure I might even think of a better answer, but right now my answer is C-3PO. He's useless. Is he?
I actually, I agree to that. I really
Thank
think so
you.
too. Like, cause
I'm very agreeable.
He
Not
did
really.
nothing in this last movie. He was just trying to run away, and then Poe was like, "Where do you think you're going?" He's like, "I'm gonna be here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in the originals, and even in the prequels, he did have some. Well, especially in the originals, he was pretty much a translator.
Yeah, and in 7, he saved them from getting eaten by Ewoks.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you could say that's very true. You, Sarah? We're talking about
who's the most useless character in this new trilogy?
Oh. Yeah, right now C-3PO.
God damn it, guys! Be original. Come on, something better.
Percolate on it. I just came in. I haven't had coffee yet. Come on.
But he's an
Yeah.
original
Give me a second.
character. But what about one of the new characters?
Okay, that's a good
If we
question.
had to choose a new
A
character,
new character.
I think Drew had something to say. What were you
Yeah,
going to say,
It
Drew?
might make people mad. Phasma.
Phasma?
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Because a lot of people were disappointed. I'm a little bit disappointed too because she showed up in all her glory and then she falls down a hole.
For now.
For now.
For now. Dun, dun, dun. And I think you posted, Micah, that her armor withstood laser fire.
her armor withstood laser fire. It has to be to withstand fire. I think she's alive.
Can it withstand a lightsaber too?
I think it could withstand a lightsaber, but like a scathing blow.
Yeah.
Not dead on.
Well, I mean, because kind of like the blast shield doors that you saw in episode 1.
Yeah.
They had to put it in there and
And then-
move it and stuff to help the kinetic energy and everything.
Yeah.
Go around. So I mean, she couldn't. Yeah, if someone wanted to stick her, she's not gonna survive that. But it might scar up her
So kind
armor.
of like a blocking sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think it would withstand that, but not like if she could hold somebody were go like that. Like if somebody were striking down this way and then keep going.
She wouldn't have a hand anymore.
Yeah, the hand's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a great thought process. So for you, Izzy, the new characters, who's the most useless for you?
You gotta give me a second on that one. Yeah.
Let me think. Who are the new characters? Oh, I mean, they're very cute and they're kind of useful.
Don't.
Say it.
Don't.
Say it.
I'm sorry.
Get it. That one over there. That one. Yeah.
Eat it.
Give it to Izzy. These cute little guys.
They're cute, but
They're
not useless, they're Chewie's food.
They're not Chewie's food. They're his little buddies.
Are you saying they're
He's got
chewy food?
80 little
Chewy
buddies.
food.
They're Chewie's
Chewy's chewy
Chewie's
food.
Chewy food. Or turkey.
We should make doggy treats and call them Chewy's chewy food.
and they'd be shaped like pork.
Yeah.
Biscuits.
And what else? What else are they good
Biscuits.
for? They just sit in the Millennium Falcon. They're like,
I can't think of it. All the new characters have a point. I mean, if you really want to base it down, Captain Phasma has a point. the Resistance would have been kaput at the end of episode 7 had Captain Phasma not turned off the radar.
True. And she has like a really good backstory.
She has a good backstory, and that's the thing is I feel like I think you're right. If we're able to judge it just simply from the movies, but the movies don't do her character justice.
Yeah,
because like she really is an opportunist.
Mm-hmm.
She's very opportunist in the sense of like supposedly like she didn't just simply drop down. Like I guess she saw what the Resistance was being, and she goes. I guess her decisions are kind of based off of if I'm remembering this correctly, off of the prevailing force, like who really has a chance, and so her it's not that she was like a traitor or anything. It's just simply a lot of her decisions are based off of her own self-interest, like what will make her wealthy, what will let her survive, kind of thing.
survival.
So yeah, so I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say any of the new characters are useless because this is their story that's coming up. So right now they all serve a purpose, but that's why I'm still hard on C-3PO because he has no damn point. There's no point.
I thought you were gonna say the broom boy.
No, not yet.
I would say, well, I mean, right now,
I'm saying up to this point.
But Izzy has potential for whatever the next film will be.
Yeah.
Will
he be in the next film?
If he's not,
I think it'll be a representation.
Yeah. If he's not, they just like got our hopes up and then went like,
yeah.
You think he's gonna be in the next film, Drew?
Probably.
I don't know if he himself will be in there, actor or character, but what will be in the next film will be a representation of who he was. So in the sense it's him, it will be newer, younger blood that Rey is probably training. So even if it's not him, it's him.
Very good, very good. So, Drew, what are your after watching the Last Jedi? What were your thoughts on it?
When's the next one?
When's the next one? I think Izzy has the answer for you.
May 24th. I was gonna say 19. Yeah.
19. Wow.
May 24th, 2019.
Was it that or was that?
Yeah, because it was for birthday.
No, that was for Han Solo.
Han Solo's 28.
That's Memorial Day. Han Solo's Memorial Day next year.
No, Memorial Day
this year.
No, I'm saying for next year for episode 9.
Oh, episode 9
was the day after my birthday. So if we say it the night before, it will be my birthday.
No, I think I just said the 2019. They're supposed to cut off, or they're pushing back Indiana Jones. I don't think I actually had like a date.
No, they had a date on there. It was May 24th.
Are you sure? Because Han Solo comes out 25th.
But it's a year apart still.
Y'all can prove me wrong.
I don't feel like looking
My brain.
I don't know.
I think it's around that time.
At least I get that. Thank you. Sorry.
Well, what else did you like about it, Drew? Talk to us a little bit about what you really, really enjoyed about The Last Jedi.
Definitely the fight with Rey and Kylo between the Red Guards. That was probably my favorite scene.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the last scene where Rey throws a lightsaber and Kylo Ren catches it and just turns it on once.
Oh, yeah, right through the face of that guy. I think it was that guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in
Boop. And then right after that, the lady's favorite scene.
Just want to say hi for everyone.
No
want to say hi for everyone tuning in. Joshua appears to be a new follower, so thank you for watching us.
Absolutely.
He asked the question, this is a podcast. It originated as a podcast where we were doing audio alongside with the videos, but it feels like we're getting more response and viewership with the videos themselves. So we held the name podcast because, to stay true to what we created in the beginning, but right now it's more so just videos.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it the vidcast.
The vidcast?
Video diaries.
Video diaries. Diaries are good things.
I already shared my diary once.
In the literal sense, it's not a podcast, but it's just also to pay homage to what we created in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And Marcelino says #Team Rose.
Oh.
What do y'all think? Actually, I think that's a great topic.
Thanks, Marcelino.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about Rose a little bit now.
Because I'm not going to say she's useless. Bring it back to the last one. And I'm not saying, not trying to be too negative, but what are y'all's opinions of Rose? Drew? Did you like her character? Did you feel like she was at least necessary?
Yeah, because
for Finn, and
she saved Finn because Finn would have been kept going.
Yeah,
and luckily she saved him. So she's not useless. Like I feel like she does have more potential.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like we don't know any of these characters' backstories. We do know that she did have a sister because of the necklace, and sadly her sister passed away. But I want to know more about these new characters and their backstories. So hopefully we get one on Rose.
Yeah, definitely. Sarah?
I think she's one of the little people that, because we talked last time. Well, yes, she's short. She's still taller than me, I think.
She's an Ewok?
Oh. But we talked about this last time.
Well, she's not a
Jedi. Wow.
She's not a main character.
The Last Jedi, emphasized the little people. The little people are what make a difference, right? So she is one of the little people that will go on to play a significant role. And I think that's where it starts out is, she's, doing her thing. And then Finn comes out of naked bubble, whatever, water thing.
Naked bubble.
Thing.
Naked plastic. What?
Yeah, what? Plastic, naked. Well,
you said naked
anyway,
like 3 or 4
I
times.
did. I'm sorry. Anyway,
We're not talking about. We're not talking about
the Kylo scene.
Kylo.
But she's one of the little people that is going to make a big difference. I hope, and I hope she's going to be in the next one.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you then.
Let Izzy answer. Jesus Christ!
No,
bro.
I wanted to ask Sarah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Izzy, but
however, she is a little people. But has she
representation?
She doesn't have that noble Skywalker background.
Yes.
A lot of them
Well,
sorry. So did you said that she is a significant character or not? Or
she is because it brings about that feeling that I got in Rogue One with Jin and everything. She was in the background. Her family, her story was in the background, but it's starting to be pulled forward.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with Rose, where it shows her sister in the beginning. She's making this big sacrifice to try and bomb one of the
Star Destroyers.
Thank you. And she dies.
Dreadnought.
What?
Oh, the Dreadnought.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she dies.
Yeah.
And then there's still that story that goes on with Rose, where she's trying to help the
Very good. Izzy, what do you think about Rose's character? And in specific, before you answer about her character, I'm curious, how did you feel about the acting? The actual actress? What's her name? Do you know?
Kelly Marie Tran.
Yes.
Yes. How do you feel like she portrayed the role of Rose? How do you think she did?
I think she did really good.
Cool.
She did good.
I think she did really good for what she was told to do. I mean, she did really good.
She did her job.
She did a bang up job.
She did her job.
Okay,
So now we got that out of the way.
yeah, I was like, I don't know. And like Force Awakens, like Finn just kind of like lands there, and he like is
just
like
hot mess, right?
yeah, and you're kind of like, oh, who is this guy? Like, what's his purpose and stuff. And then he like gets, him and Rey meet up, and then he starts going on these adventures. It's kind of like Rose, she was like there, and then Finn was trying to escape, and she's like, oh, like talking to him and stuff, and then they like figure out like a plan. So they start working together, and she starts going here and here. So I feel like she's definitely getting more involved, and I feel like she will be like a really, really important character in the next one. But also at the very end, she told Finn, he was like, why did you save me? She's like, it's not about
destroying the things you hate. It's
about saving the things you love.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was good.
So she's important for Finn's development too.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
she is a
Because she's the one who said that. Oh, you're a real hero.
yeah.
Mhm.
And he's like,
What?
Bitch, I was just trying to run away, man.
Yeah, and I think she's a really good character. I think she also played a good role in the movie. I really enjoyed her character. I think that the actress, God, what's her name again?
Kelly Marie Tran.
Kelly did a great job in her.
KMT.
KMT did a great job in her portrayal.
Campy?
I think she gave it all she could, you know what I mean? And it showed up on screen. I really enjoyed it. You know, she was very passionate. You know, when I saw her on screen, I wasn't seeing the actress. I was seeing the character, you know what I mean? And a lot of the times, and I think that's where sometimes the prequels fell short. I felt like I was watching the actor spill out lines as opposed to
watching in that cockpit.
Yeah, this character storyline. You know what I mean? So I think that the directors have done a good job so far in handling that in these past 2 movies, and I think that's why I enjoyed them a great deal. But I like her character, and I like the way that she portrayed the role. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with her and Finn next, because I've been asked by people at work and around the area, whatever that means.
Around the galaxy?
Yeah. Is something going on with
Yep, that's his love interest now.
Yeah. Do you know what we're talking about?
Finn and Rose?
Finn and Rose, are they a thing?
I hope so.
Hashtag Final Rose.
Oh,
you missed it. I came up with a new segment for Tim. It's called Timmy's Tantrums.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be wonderful. Oh, my goodness.
Or completely daunting. Because it's a tantrum. Yeah.
I've seen Tim throw a tantrum before.
I've seen Tim cuss before.
No, he has not. You take that back.
It scares me, man. I'm like,
take it back.
Done no such thing.
Piss him off now.
Tim doesn't talk that way.
Tim does not
Who?
talk.
He's not here to defend himself, so I have to do it for him.
Are you like lying to yourself then?
I have never heard Tim even get upset before, unless he's talking to you.
You know, that is a fair point, because that's the only times I've heard it myself.
Oh my goodness. But
what about some of the critiques in the movie? Like an example, one thing that really annoys me is like, I don't know why. Like, okay, people will say like, how the hell could they have bombed the dreadnought? There's no gravity in space, and I'm like, are you serious? Like an example, there's gravity inside the ship, obviously, right? So the bombs drop. As it enters into space, it's going to keep on going until something moves it.
True.
But I'm saying, like, it's something so small like that. Like, people were like the first thing, oh, and that bombs couldn't have even done that. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
It's like people trying to nitpick at the dumbest things, and speaking through physics, like, it's gonna have that course until something decides to change that course when it's in space, because it has that momentum trajectory, whatever.
Yeah, once it begins down a path, it won't stop
until it's pushed.
Yeah, or something gets in its way.
Exactly.
So the thing that I tell people that say those things, that
it's like they just try to trash the movie. Period.
There can't be sound or explosion.
I was gonna say that too.
You know, in space, you know, or fire or anything like that. So if you're gonna nitpick, you know, that's fine. But then, you know, when you see stuff like that, you know, I mean, you're going to have to nitpick everything. But it's a movie and it's science fiction. And we don't know if the same properties that happen in Star Wars happen in the same galaxy that we live in, you know, that we're accustomed to. Mm-hmm. And if you want to talk about gravity, let's say they are the same, right? Well, a dreadnought of that size, which is the size it looked like possibly of a small moon. Yeah. Even our moon has
a form of gravity.
Moon.
I mean,
small moon.
It's a moon.
It's a moon, baby.
I would think those bombs would be somewhat
ineffective.
Pulled to it.
Yeah, pulled to it. Yeah, that's why they needed to get directly over it.
Oh.
That was when I saw that.
It's casting its own gravity, it has its own pull. Though.
I would think it would.
It?
Mass.
Why would it?
Why wouldn't?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying why would it?
What do you mean? Why would it?
It would have to.
Does it have a sense of magnetism at the very center of it?
No. Well, no.
I mean,
no,
you've seen other ships have like
Because it had tractor beams. Did you never watch episode 4? It had tractor beams.
They don't have tractors in Star Wars.
I have not seen a
I stand
field
corrected.
yet.
I stand corrected.
I can see a
The
tractor
only
in
farming
space.
is
Oh God, it's
farming.
that terrible image. I'm just imagining Luke riding this fucking tractor. Definitely with the fucking straw in his mouth. Come on, R2.
Oh my God, that was pretty good.
You're a son of a bitch.
But back to that, scientifically,
It is within the realm of science.
yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you want to nitpick, yeah, like you wouldn't be hearing all these explosions, all these, blasts of fire. You wouldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, let's watch a silent film. All right, Charlie Chaplin, where you at, buddy?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
yeah.
it just, I don't know, it's stupid.
No, I agree. But, anything that size, it would have its own gravitational pull. Just because of the mass. The more mass you create, it will, at a certain point, have a gravitational pull upon everything around it. It's inevitable. I mean, even if you were to get rubber bands,
It is.
right? If you get rubber bands
Mhm.
and you create rubber band ball the size of Earth, it itself will have a gravitational pull. Things will be drawn to it because of its mass. It's true.
Yeah.
Scientifically, it's true. It has to happen because of its mass.
So if you're big enough,
Yes.
Well,
just throw my ass out in space, see what I attract. Right? On to me! Maybe that answers the question about Leia. Flying in space.
Well, that was just mean.
That wasn't okay, whatever. That was not a slight against her.
Oh,
We're just going
I'm
down.
mistaken.
I just thought we were still in Lewis's fantasy land.
We're always in Lewis's fantasy land.
Oh God, I gotta go.
So Blake says, as long as it's the greatest mass in the sector, that it's true. So,
What are you watching?
well, Blake actually
Oh, cool.
messaged me.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Blake. Blake is saying that that's true, that anything would be drawn to it. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. What were we talking about? Were we talking about Star Wars?
we started talking about physics.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the science
My
behind
brain
Star Wars
already
to see if
hurt.
it's somewhat plausible.
Yeah.
We're just talking about, like, is there anything else that y'all can attach?
Nitpicking.
Well, yeah, nitpicking, where the people are trying to
That's
give
right.
critiques to the movie, and they're trying to say some bullshit like, "Oh, the bombs would have never gone towards a dreadnought because
Yeah.
there's no gravity." Like,
Yeah.
have y'all
that's
heard any other? Drew, have you heard anything stupid like that? Like, they're out there. That's because I guess of the scum of the earth. I'm talking to these people.
They're your
And I
friends.
wanted to
My
say,
people. My
I
people.
was like, they're your friends.
Blake,
Wait, we're your friends.
Blake had been commenting a lot in our previous podcast. He's actually went back into the military. Thank you for watching, Blake. He's in Poland right now, so he said he might cut in and out, but he's
man.
he's watching right now. So
Hey, Blake.
thank you for serving, Blake. We appreciate it, and thanks for watching also. But yeah, what do y'all think about the Praetorian Guards being able to block the lightsabers?
Oh, that was badass.
So I mean, what is their armor made of?
Well,
Is
I
it
don't know if
maybe
it was
electromagnetic also or something like that?
Was it the armor?
Keep going.
It was more so, I think, the weaponry that they had, man. Kind of like in that, I don't know what the hell it's called, but in episode 7, where they had, remember the one that yells at Finn, Maz's planet, I forgot the name of it, outside of her water castle? And like they had he had that little device, the one that Finn's attacking Phasma with. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but that, whatever that is like it was able to fend off lightsaber. And that's where a lot of the shit that they had. I thought it was more so not their armor, but it was their weaponry.
Okay.
That was able to, because if you looked at that one, because I know it kind of looked crazy for a second, where like it looked like a whip of sorts, but it was like segmented blocks of these energy things.
Oh yeah.
And as it's like I think wrapped around it was either Ray or the lightsaber, I can't remember that one. And then he was like wrapping around his arm.
Yeah.
The points that was touching it wasn't the points with the energy source, but the parts that were not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Two slow-head moms, and this one is like,
Who's that?
Yeah.
Blake says the metal cortosis can deactivate a saber. If it's made into an alloy, it can effectively block one. So I think we're finally seeing, and going back to the Legends-based books, them drawing from Legends materials and weapons that can either deactivate or kind of like, in essence, I don't know, block a lightsaber, which we didn't see in the previous episodes very much, or almost at all, Like if you wanted a weapon, it would be a lightsaber out of everything, whether it was a blaster or whatever. So I think that's pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it makes for a more even matchup against Jedi or Sith or whatever you want. Anybody with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So that being said, would you want a weapon, Micah? Would you rather have a lightsaber or something that can counteractivate a lightsaber?
Bitch, you still want a lightsaber?
You still want a lightsaber?
I don't just want one. I got one for every day of the week, man.
Woo!
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Well, I
Did I say something funny?
One to match each outfit. No.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Like, well, they're all black, so I mean, I think red would be fine.
Oh,
Or
so
purple.
you'd have a black, what if
Yeah.
like a black lightsaber?
Oh.
Dark saber.
dark saber,
That'd be cool, but
the Mandalorian.
Oh, that a thing?
Mm-hmm. It actually looks like there's
Yeah, I knew
electricity
that.
coming off of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Of course, but I just- I know, I just-
That's to you guys.
I just kind of like, I'll leave that to the Mandalorians. Like, I can make a red one.
Yeah, yours is
The crimson.
definitely red, crimson.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
He's saying
easy.
evil.
Well, we're about halfway through our podcast. My goodness.
Yeah, Tim.
What happened to Tim?
10.
Tim's still getting some tacos?
Oh, what?
Timmy's tacos.
Really? Oh.
No, he's actually
he's
still
not.
raging.
She's hungry.
I'm starving.
The kitchen.
No, really? Oh my god.
He said it. Well,
Dun, dun.
I think it's time for our guest. Drew, you ready for some questions? So we can get to know you a little bit better and the people watching can get to know you a little bit better.
Mhm.
I put some questions here together here. And
Louis, you're off your game.
I am off my
Usually he
game.
has printouts and everything for us.
Yes. But I wanted
And
to
now this cat's got coupons.
I got
On the back of
coupons. Anybody
coupons.
need a coupon for a Kit Kat or something?
I'm still using these, by the way, after I'm done.
Yeah, you should. It's a good coupon.
I want my $1 off. Damn it.
So I have a question for you here. It's called 331. It's a Force Show podcast original question.
Mhm.
And if you're not familiar or anybody watching,
Okay, go ahead. Okay, that was really creepy. I'll try to do that again.
331 is we give you three choices.
Okay.
You got 3 seconds. You give us one answer. Okay. So I'm going to read the selections off to you, and then you got 3 seconds. Okay. We need one answer. All right. You have to either drink the green milk off of the sea monster, like off the sea monster,
Or
Straight
from
from
Luke's
the source.
beard.
or you have to get a limb cut off by a lightsaber. You don't get to pick which limb.
What is wrong with you?
Or you have to have Jar Jar Binks around you all the time. And then when I mean all the time, I mean all
When I sleep, I go take a shower.
all the time. So 3, 2,
Limb cut
1. Limb cut off. Wow. Very ouch. So why would you pick that? Talk to us a little bit about drinking the green milk.
That was
You couldn't do it?
no.
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 Awesome.
Not even for a free lightsaber.
No. All right, and then having Jar Jar Binks around you all the time. What is it?
Give me that sea monster titty milk. I'm not gonna get clover.
That's awesome.
I'm sure there's a lot of good nutrients in there. Some vitamin D or something.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Drew.
I'm sorry, I'm with Blake on that one.
Well, let me ask Micah instead.
Oh, Christ.
Micah, let's say you did it on a dare that you had to, go to the sea monster and partake of some green milk.
You said drink it full. You never said anything about like.
Yeah, no, that's what.
Straight from the source.
Yeah.
Straight from the source.
Straight.
Yes. But let's say at the point when you were suckling the teat.
No, God.
Ew.
Why do you have to talk like that?
Let's say that it was the best thing that you've ever tasted.
Okay, if you told me that was the best thing I ever tasted, then I would not go to that. Because he wants to be that guy, like, just hanging out with my friend. I'm his friend, and in return, he gives me his own milk. Take off my arm, Lord! Take it!
Wow.
Take it. Oh my God.
Directed unpasteurized. That shit is rich. Primo.
Mucho.
Can you always put in a carton? At least trick me.
Oh my
I'm not
goodness.
hungry anymore.
You don't mind. Oh my goodness.
He needs some milk.
Some milk, baby.
Well, I mean, then again, too, I'm sure this is probably the reason why you answer that. Like, you get your arm taken off, okay, whatever, but in the Star Wars, universe, like, the technology combats that. I mean, shit. I mean, maybe it's a philosophical question, but what if you had all your limbs attached and been replaced with even stronger, better things that you could have done and made you even stronger? Like Mr. Bionic Man. What's it called?
True. Well, we don't have that in our universe.
Well, we don't have a green
sea
monster that gives out green titty milk either.
Well,
It looks like
touche.
It looks like I'm glad you made it so that I could. Sally! I named her Sally for short.
So why wouldn't you pick Jar Jar to be around you all the time?
I'm annoying.
Too annoying?
Yeah.
Maybe you get satisfaction. You can beat the shit out of him, and he's still there. So it's like he's your like emotional punching bag. Physically,
just don't kill him because he'll come back. I'm all sparkly.
Every time I hear that, I think of that now because the robot chicken. Hey, honey, I'm back. I'm all sparkly, glowing. Oh my God, Annie, I love you so much.
Oh my goodness.
My main man. Quick, jumping before the separatists come. Some shit.
All right.
We gotta watch that again.
So the second choice, which you picked, was getting a limb cut off by a lightsaber. So if you did get the choice, which one would it be?
Probably my right arm because I got my tattoo on my left.
Very good, very good.
What if they cut right beneath it though? So that's your ultimate arm. You got a revitalized arm. You still got your tat.
True. And what if it was like that when you had your arm? But they did it, but it was like real slow. Oh God, that'd be great.
Probably a reaction similar to Finn.
Right, exactly.
As he's getting put.
And we talked about it a little bit already.
Tell us that one guy. Oh, I love it. Do it more.
Oh my God. Do the other arm.
oh God.
I want you to do it.
And the second question I had for you, we already kind of talked about a little bit. What is the most useless character in the new trilogy? You picked Phasma, right? So we kind of went over that already.
I do want to mention real quick.
Oh,
I'm
go
trying to
ahead.
cut off from that.
No,
I was going to mention because I think Izzy, you said the porgs, or Sarah said the porgs.
I said porks. She said porks. I would never say porks.
It was interesting because it's something I shared talking about like visiting the actual island, scaling Michael or whatever.
Mhm.
But the reason Ryan Johnson put in the porgs because he likened them to the puffin penguins that would occasionally visit the islands throughout the year through a very small time, and he liked I guess the appeal possibly, but how they just like would periodically visit the island or whatever.
Yeah.
So like the porgs were added to it in his response to what the puffin penguins do in real life,
Oh, okay.
visiting it or whatever. different. So I just thought that was interesting, you know, because another thing where like it's fictional, but they kind of tied into a real part of that actual ecosystem over there.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of that, I thought that we were gonna see I think you mentioned it last episode, our episode. I thought we were gonna see convoys from Rebels, and
didn't they like say it?
Yeah, but they never showed up unless
but they cut a lot of stuff too, so maybe that's one of those things.
Could have been on the cutting room floor somewhere. So I thought we were going to get a chance to see that, but we didn't. So oh well. What can you do?
Which is kind of annoying because like they cut that little scene out of The Force Awakens, where they didn't cut it, but they manipulated the scene where initially, I don't know if you knew, but there was initially supposed to be a boy in the hallway as Rey goes into the vision.
Mm-hmm.
That first hallway where they're on Cloud City, Luke and Vader, and there's supposed to be a boy in the vision, and they took it out because they thought it was too suggestive towards something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if they did the same thing here.
Could be.
Because think about it, like if they do show up in random points in time, the significant moments, like they're watchers to ensure that these things happen.
Yeah.
Like going back to the movie now, where would they have been? Mm-hmm. Maybe when Rey falls down that hole, when she's going up to that mirror type wall to like see who her past is, who her future is. Like I'm wondering if like they're supposed to be there at that time, and I think that in itself again would be maybe too suggestive.
Yeah.
So took it off, but.
I'm curious because I saw a few things on our episode 20, which when we watched and commented on The Force Awakens, that there was at the very end when Rey was going to go see Luke. Mm-hmm. And before I finished that thought, did we ever decide or find out, can porgs fly?
Yes.
They can?
Yeah.
Right? They can? Yeah.
I think so.
They can also be barbecued.
Oh.
I think they were flying.
They were flying.
I think
they
they
were
did fly.
there was like different
Like a kind of a pathetic flying, but
Yeah. Could they like
fly.
fly from mountain to mountain? Do you think?
Doubt it.
Well, I think it was like very like
More like a chicken?
Well, probably like the penguins, like
They can swim.
not like sustained flight like you would for a traditional bird, but
Yeah.
enough where it's more like
Yeah.
kind of like gliding.
Now it makes me want to go back and watch The Last Jedi again to see.
Where you just want to watch it anyway?
Well, yeah, but I want
This
to.
guy's a fan. This guy's a real fan. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
You're not thinking that.
I want to see if maybe there is a convoy somewhere, like just randomly.
I'm sure because the second time I was looking at the little finer things in
And
the
you
background.
didn't see anything?
I didn't see anything, and that's not to say it doesn't exist.
Maybe that's what Chewie was eating instead of the porg. Oh, maybe not.
No, that very much looked like the little chickens that those porgs were, especially when they started crying.
Blake, we did kind of bring it up. Blake said, did anyone else notice the boy using the Force to grab the broom at the end?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't see it the first time, or maybe I just thought it was like I was so encapsulated by it. It was just kind of like, like, oh, he's using the Force, duh. Like I didn't really register until you all mentioned it, and then watched it again. I'm like, that little shit is using the Force.
That little bitch.
Who taught you that? You're not supposed to be hanging around with those type of friends, Johnny.
Yeah, we did notice it, Blake, and I thought it was a nice touch. A lot of y'all mentioned that I think Sarah brought up just earlier that it's going to be, I don't want to say the nobodies or the little people that are going to
the nobodies. That's better than the little people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say
Say it.
The conversation that you recorded against my will
When?
in the break room.
Oh
I
yeah.
forgot who were we talking to?
We were talking to not Will. We were talking to
No, I feel bad. We were talking to someone in the break room at work, and I can't believe I'm making this comparison. If I remember correctly, in the movie,
Taylor. It was Taylor.
Okay, that's right. Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
She's like,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
you're about to compare
Yeah.
this?
Let him
What?
finish his thought
Just
process.
let me finish this thought process.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the movie or like the series Twilight, whatever, I forgot which one it actually was. That like more werewolves were becoming or whatever.
Oh, New Moon.
Sure. There's new werewolves being created or whatever, or being whatever, because of the presence of vampires, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Yes.
that's what I'm wondering. Like at the end, for the boy at the end, like using the Force, is this like a new movement that maybe Rian Johnson's trying to do, saying that like there is a war coming, the battle is coming, and apparently it looks like the dark side has some good pieces in play, especially with the Resistance being all but a handful of people.
So to strengthen up the light
is
side.
it like the Force, much like Waking and Rey, is a Force like being like a real conduit to these younger kids or whatever, and like starting to give these Force abilities, so in turn like they're not going to say they're going to become Jedis, but at least Force users, because it's necessary, it's needed.
And I thought that was a good thought process, Micah. I'm getting more and more frightened because you and I are starting to think quite similarly on a lot of things. And for Blake, he said for him that the broom boy, that for him that was the most exciting part of the movie, and that's his opinion. Yeah, and I think it's because possibly that
it is very much that.
We're going to see more Force users, because of that balance that you were talking about, Micah.
Yeah.
And Ashley said to say hi, Drew. Yeah. Ashley just joined us, and so did Josh. Thanks for watching, guys. And Blake also says he hated the time gap between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. It seemed like only days passed and not the usual years that Star Wars films have had between them. So he kind of wanted to see a gap there.
I don't know how y'all feel, but I understand it. Like, we are used to that, and probably could have seen that. But an example, like if you want to go the days of days thing, I know they really did that because of Rey. Rey just, hey, look, I got your old lightsaber, bro. You haven't seen it in years.
Yeah. But
also, too, if you look at the end of episode 7, the Starkiller base is being completely demolished.
Yeah.
And they're coming to the point where they're trying to get out of there just to stay alive.
Yeah.
And within a moment's notice, now they're all geared back up. Now they got this new super weapon. And like, okay, we're going to track these cats down.
Yeah.
Like, bro, there's not even any dirt in your face. You were running away, but now you're all clean and shaven and everything. You're about to go destroy these guys as they're trying to retreat away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't much of a time difference at all, so I don't know if y'all caught up on that.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was too rigid as far as the story.
Yeah.
Story timeline goes.
What do you think, Drew? Did you like that it was kind of back to back, or would you have rather seen a little bit of time between both of them?
I think a little bit of time because they probably could have worked on it more and not be rushed.
Yeah.
Because if they're rushed and they're on a schedule, then they can't probably put as many scenes as they want to.
Okay. What about you guys?
I think I would have wanted to see a gap too, but I think it was like a big deal for everyone to see like what happened the moment.
Like right then.
With the
Rey
red
and the lightsaber him.
Yeah.
And I think that's ultimately why they did that too.
Maybe if they would have, going back and like rewriting in my mind, saying maybe like Rey saying, "Oh, we need to go." Them telling Rey, "Let's go. We're asking you to go get Luke Skywalker," and then you see them going in the Falcon, and then that's where it ends.
Yeah.
And then you come back with her handing the lightsaber off in the next movie. You really wouldn't have known.
Like it took a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
No, I agree with that.
It wouldn't have been a long gap because they would have just light speed there, but it gives the impression
of a
journey gap.
Yeah, there. That, and also it probably would have been more felt more like the ending.
Yeah.
What they were talking about, how what was it, Mark?
Mark.
Like he was the one who made the description. It really seems true to me that every story they did so well with episodes 1 through 6 that it was like a complete thought, a complete notion, a nice little ribbon that it's complete section of the story. But episode 7 was the first thing that we saw that was really this. Again, I call it this fish hook in the mouth because you're needing to know what happens next. And if they finish it off with them just going to just them simply taking off, probably would have been almost a better ending. But we would have wanted to see Luke. We knew he was in it.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably a compromise because I think more people would have been pissed off if with Luke not being in the movie. An example right now, people are pissed. People are pissed, or at least people argue that like really he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot worse if it'd be like, where the hell is Luke?
Yeah.
Where the hell is he at?
Yeah.
No, I agree.
So I think that was probably like them trying to find a middle ground, but it did kind of maybe hurt the opening. of episode 8, perhaps. I think Blake actually makes a good point that it would have left for more unknown plot loops to happen and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. All right. Next question. You ready, Drew?
Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun.
There's only 2 answers. Either yes or no.
No, sorry.
Question is Snoke dead?
I want to say yes, but then people are saying, "Oh no, he's a Force ghost now, so he might come back as Palpatine, on a clone, or skip to body." But I think only certain individuals can do that, not just everybody. Okay. So I'm pretty sure he is dead.
Yeah,
physical wise.
Okay. You talked about that, right, Micah? Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, talk to Drew about that, man. Tell him what your thought process was.
I mean, he brought it up, but I mean the tongue. That's what. When I went back and really looked at it the second time, like his tongue was sticking out. Like
not his body being cut in half, but his tongue. His tongue.
Okay, Darth Maul survived episode 1. Yeah, talk to me about bodies being cut in half.
Okay, no, but you don't see. I know, but you don't see what happens after he falls.
He's gonna take a nap.
He's dead and down for a while. There's a whole fight after.
Actually, I want to play this out in your mind real quickly. So he finds the bottom after falling for forever, but it's a lightsaber that took his legs, waist down and all, and he lands and he's like, not again. And he just crawls away.
I don't know what happens.
He's gonna take a rest.
No,
he's gonna nap.
Yeah,
he's gonna look. He's gonna look dead.
Is he? Will he?
Go.
Okay, no.
Yes. No. I gotta hear it.
Never mind. Whatever.
We gotta hear some more Star Wars stuff, man.
I'm just simply saying is that there's a precedent in the movies that just because a cat's cut in half doesn't mean he's dead. And I think even again, Lewis brought up a really great point in the last podcast. Which one do you assume is more powerful, Darth Maul or Snoke? And I think we had a great consensus that it was Snoke. Snoke is seemingly the more powerful one. And they've even mentioned this, that Snoke was even more powerful than Emperor Palpatine. And that if Darth Maul was able to live through being cut in half, who's to say that Snoke isn't? But again, we don't know who Snoke is. You can say something, sir.
Yeah.
But we don't know who Snoke is. There's rumors of he's this, he's this, he's this. Technically, nothing has been disproven.
But we've also talked about him that was his motive, was to have Kylo kill him.
Well, yeah.
So you're saying he's not?
Well, just because Kylo Ren thinks he's dead doesn't mean he's actually dead.
True. Yeah.
He has all appearances. He has all appearances of being dead.
Fine. I want him to be dead, but whatever. That's it.
You want him to be dead.
I want him to be dead.
You don't want to see Snoke anymore.
How great would that?
I don't need to see his chewed up bubblegum face. Okay, that's all. I'm done talking.
But so anyway, none of the theories that we have of Snoke has been disproven yet. So what if he is still technically somehow Darth Plagueis? Everyone thought Darth Plagueis was dead, but he had the notion, he had the wisdom to allow people to survive. So what if he's really like changing forms or like a transference of consciousness like Emperor Palpatine was able to do? What if he just went his physical form? That body is cut in half, but even if that physical form is dead, doesn't necessarily mean that he's dead.
Now let me. I'm gonna pull from Return of the Jedi. Okay. Now
that's episode 6, right?
Yes, episode 6.
Revenge of the Jedi.
You original title. #.
Suck it, Lucas.
In Return of the Jedi, you might not have seen them, but in Jabba's palace, there are spider-looking robots, right? Oh, wow. Then they're kind of towards the background in like 2 or 3 scenes, and they have a kind of fishbowl on them, and within that fishbowl, there's a brain. And those were actually monks that actually took their brains out of their body and put them in the spider-like robots. And they were supposedly all over Mos Eisley and Jabba's palace. and that's the only backstory that I know about them. But could that be a possibility that maybe they take his brain and put him into something robotic like that later on? Possibly. I don't know. I'm just kind of.
I just don't think he's there. That's
I don't think he's it.
No.
Like
Sarah
I
thinks.
want him to be dead.
Yeah. Do you? Let me ask you, Sarah. Did you just not like his character, or did you despise him so much you just want him?
It was.
dead?
I mean, the second one. It was a good character to have, but it's just like the amount of evil makes you hate him, and that's how like I feel.
Like
What
good,
about
he's dead.
Like I'm glad he's dead. Smash his mug. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like I
wanted this to happen.
Yes, I bought his character, his toy, and then I put him on the barbecue pit.
Yes.
Lit it. I hate him.
Pretty much. But I mean, he's a good bad character.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I want to see more of it.
He's very evil.
How about this? Knowing how influential Snoke's role is, and possibly him being the final thing that causes Kylo Ren to become at the pinnacle of his power, at least seen on the screen, do you want him to still survive in some capacity in Episode 9 that really creates that true enemy for someone to fight against, to have a richer part of the story? Would you prefer him to be alive somehow, even if it's not that same physical form?
Yeah,
with that nice menacing voice.
Because then again, Rey and Kylo Ren will probably team up because, like, he's powerful than them, so they have to take him down again. So if they do that somehow, then that's how I see the route that they're going.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm curious. Don't make me destroy you. Sorry. Let me.
Apparently, Darth is pissed about that.
Yeah, they didn't like that. Billy Joe, we'll try to get to that question in a second. But to go on your thought process there, Drew, I was looking at something, or I was talking to somebody, I don't remember, and I think I read it. So let me ask y'all, because especially you two, because y'all seen it twice. Did Kylo Ren and Rey have a mind meld after Snoke was dead?
Yeah.
So does that go back?
I don't know if it did. I mean, I know my original theory is that it was not a mind meld. I know that's what you're going to ask.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they did, because there's only one point after Snoke's supposed death of which it can be interpreted as a mind meld or not. But I think it was more of a sensing thing. They weren't like, I know what you're talking about, Izzy, like towards the end, where like, well, Kylo Ren finally makes it into the base, and then like, where the hell they go, kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and then he just kind of looks off, and then you see Rey even look like off, as if they're looking at each other in a sense. And but I thought it was more of a force thing, kind of like you felt the presence, because before, like, all the mind meld things where like you could actually see them. This one you didn't. So I thought I likened it more to just a force thing. Like, I could feel that they're there, not so much as the mind meld, which may hurt my theory that I don't think it was a mind meld created by Snoke. It may hurt that, but I don't think that's what we saw at the very end.
I thought they did see each other at the very end.
They did.
did.
At the very end, I don't know.
But that's what
I
we're
didn't
talking
watch
about.
it. Oh,
You didn't watch it?
I haven't watched it again.
Okay.
We all watched it that
Yeah.
fateful day.
Well, it might be something that whoever watches it next pays close attention to it. But from what I'm remembering, like, I was even trying to look out for it. I don't think that they saw each other. Well, at least they don't say it, because they're not being like, they're like, it wasn't like Rey like, oh, you're in the base, dumbass, we already got out. Like, it wasn't anything where they, like, Rey knew that he was in the base talking to him when he actually made it inside. It was just kind of like, oh, like, I sent you, but I'm about to peace out. Dude, So, I mean, that could be an interesting question, which actually could probably, maybe they did that on purpose to carry on into the next film. Like, is that still a thing, even in the absence of Snoke?
Yeah.
But I still truly think that there's something more to it.
Yeah. Well, I want to get on to the next question for Drew. Oh, go ahead.
And also, too, because Snoke didn't know where the hell Luke was at. Rey was with Luke when this supposed mind meld began. So how the hell was Snoke able to do that? Not even know where she's at. Not even have met her. And how was he able to link their minds together?
Yeah, I don't think he had any part in it. I want to say it was all them. They just didn't know they could do that. And then he figured out they were doing it, so he was just trying to like play one on them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's why it kind of feeds back into me trying to believe in that these are the reincarnations of the first two Force users, like actual brother and sister, maybe not in the physical form today, but like they're the first two Force users. But then that would also hurt my theory about her parents technically being nobody. Like, not that it's saying that their parents couldn't be anybody, but it's more likely that they're probably not anyone.
Yeah.
Well,
except what's his face? I mean, his parents weren't nobodies.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay, that's true. No. Actually, I hadn't thought of it like that. So that's absolutely true. Yeah. And it would make sense that Rey was born to prominent parents, even if she still is a reincarnation.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker. Let me ask you, Drew.
Let it be known, I did not say that or agree.
Get my strings.
If I could use a force to choke your ass out, I know.
Drew, how did you get into liking Star Wars?
I was born into it when the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6 were out. My mom showed them to me. And then I immediately loved Darth Vader as a kid. And I fell in love with everything about the Star Wars. My favorite character is still Luke. Because
I'm sorry. Not for that.
But then as I was getting older, they're showing, the prequels, 1, 2, and 3. And then I was like finding out how Anakin became Vader. I was like, okay. And then now with The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Last Jedi.
Very nice, very nice. Excellent. So you were kind of born into it.
Molded by it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I did not see Star Wars till I was a man.
I know. I didn't see the new trilogy until nearly I was a man. By then, I was blinded by it.
All right. So I was going to ask you real quick, how do you feel about the new Han Solo movie coming out?
I have currently not seen the trailer.
I don't think they have a trailer out yet, right?
Okay.
No, they have a trailer yet.
I have heard of it. It would be interesting to see. But are we seeing like a young Han Solo, like from 10 all the way up to like A New Hope?
We don't know, right?
We don't know. We just simply know that Lando has been cast. Chewie has been cast, and some other characters are in there. So we're assuming it's going to be some time before we see him in Episode 4 in the Cantina.
They could show when he was young, like they did with Jin. She was little and she was great.
Yeah, something that made him into that. Because didn't they say something about he was supposed to... I think there's a theory that he was a stormtrooper and that kind of like walked away like Finn did or something. I don't know if I like that.
That's the Legends story.
Well, I mean, what I mean is I don't know if they'll do that because then that reverberates too much off of Finn. Even though it would make sense why he kind of helped Finn, but I just don't know if they'll have the same bland, like cut and paste, like, well, you do this? Well,
yeah, he was in the Naval Academy. So I don't know if it's like more of a school as opposed to actually in the First Order or, a stormtrooper in the Empire.
Well, even then, back then, it was a conscious decision.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it would kind of probably maybe explain some of his talent as far as flying.
Yeah.
Well, same thing happened for Wedge, though.
Yeah.
Because he was saved.
Exactly.
He was a defector from the
Wedge hobby.
From the Imperial Academy.
All right. So you brought some.
He's younger.
Yeah. You brought some items today.
Oh.
Right? You want to kind of maybe will you help him out? Maybe you can show him some of that.
You want to grab the blue one and grab the red, or do you want to grab the red?
Whatever.
Oops.
I mean, I was going to go for red, but seats my color. Okay.
So Drew brought some cool Star Wars stuff today. Some of his personal collection.
You will never see this blue again.
Oh my god.
Tell me where the rebel spies are. Really?
Yeah.
What you do?
Oh
Can you
my
see-
God, they
Oh,
make noise.
Hey, will you turn
No,
that
I wouldn't
light
like
on
that.
for me?
Ooh.
There you go. Awesome. Those are from.
Oh, wow.
Okay, don't do that.
Okay, no.
Incredible.
Those are expensive.
Yeah.
These are from Hasbro FX lightsabers.
Yeah.
And they're exact replicas from the movies.
Absolutely. That is too awesome.
I'm supposed to be looking too.
Oh, wow. Oh.
I know you like the red one there.
I like the green one too.
Oh.
But this is cool. This is heavy.
I know, right? You can feel the weight on that one. It's this
I need
little
help.
thing right here.
Oh. Wow. Oh.
Oh,
damn.
everybody's got a saber. Look at that. Mm. Tim's missing out. We got to get a picture like that before we finish. So for
Oh.
Yeah.
Are we making faces at each other?
or something.
Dude, I
Turn
would
this
want
off.
to recreate.
That
Lewis,
one.
Lewis, you're on your knees. I'm taking the red and blue saber.
Uh-huh.
Just doing like this.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh yeah. We'll take some pictures, man. Awesome.
I love the green one.
Thanks for bringing
The green
those.
one is
Sweet.
really cool.
It seems the most practical with this handle, though. Because the other ones, it seems like you can't have a good grip on.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. I'm good.
Look at Sarah. Sarah needs one now.
I know.
It is-
So, Drew, you're not getting this one back. I'm sorry.
I mean, I think we all got one.
That is too awesome.
ting, ting. Like, I want to pay and get it like ones where we can actually like have hardcore. Like,
Yeah. Well,
That-
Drew
the ones that won't get the
has one on order right now. He was gonna bring that one, but it's not quite in yet.
Not in there.
Yeah, and it's a. Where did you order it from?
I ordered it on Ultra Sabers for $75, and it can be whatever.
Yeah.
Like a custom one from the movies.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a randomized saber that they're building for him.
What?
So that's kind of cool. That's awesome.
We don't need to do that. Yeah, we need to have a room. What does it have to go in something?
Take up the thing.
What color would you have, Sarah?
I like blue,
Blue?
but if I have the choice, neon pink just for fun.
Yes! Pink with sparkles.
There is pink.
Oh,
No way!
oh,
There's,
damn
two
it.
different types of pink. Neon and hot pink.
Oh, look at your face.
Well, I don't care.
We'll both get
Either
it.
one would be great.
I get one pink. I get the other pink.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
be like the Legally Blonde of lightsabers.
So
Yeah.
is the hilt bigger than you thought?
No,
No?
no, I think it's
Right where it should be.
accurate.
Well, Vader's is kind of weird.
Yeah,
It's heavy.
kind of heavy,
Yeah.
kind of big.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Ha!
Oh, second Jedi.
It's so $75.
Well, Billy Joe here said, "Here's one for y'all. Why are the lightsabers different colors?" And we actually, I think it was our third episode, Micah. Third or fourth episode?
Second or third.
Yeah, second or third episode. If y'all want to go back to that episode, we actually go very in depth on why lightsabers have different colors and the meanings actually behind those colors. So if anybody would like to, go back, we're on YouTube. Also, I don't think that episode is on Facebook, but if you go to YouTube to the Force Choke podcast, go to, I think it's our second episode or third episode.
It should be titled, and there should be second or third episode. They all have different meanings.
Mhm.
If you watch it, you'll see the different vests, the different colors that they have, and they actually all do truly have different meanings. Even why there is a red one in existence.
Mhm.
Red, black, green, blue, purple.
Neon pink.
Yeah, pink.
Okay, those are ones you could buy.
Yeah,
Those are
they're
not
custom.
existing ones.
You
Yeah.
don't know that yet.
But it's really interesting. We would recommend you check that out. Because it's really fun, I think.
Yeah, that was a really good
Because
episode.
Lois did all of his research from the data to and what's actual lore today in canon.
Canon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what they actually mean, because if you watch even Rebels, the show, you'll actually see that Ahsoka Tano has white ones, and there are actually different meanings behind why the kyber crystals that creates these, why they are different colors. So
yeah,
definitely recommend you checking that out.
Yeah, that episode is over an hour long, and it's almost entirely about lightsabers, the colors.
You're right. I'm pretty sure it is episode 3 because episode 2 I think was our Force Vision recap.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, highly recommend anybody wants to learn more about lightsabers to go to that episode.
You don't want to go there, do you?
On our YouTube channel.
Just imagine
Drew. Try to sneak it out. To
you're
be
not
perfectly
getting
honest.
was real.
Oh my god! She activated it. Do you feel like Luke Skywalker right now over Kylo Ren?
Well, that's the same because Kylo Ren is stronger than you.
You didn't.
What?
Did you hear what he said?
No, I was.
Because Luke's dead.
Me and my new.
How dare you? Kylo Ren can never be stronger than Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
He's not even stronger than Darth Vader.
Piece of work.
So
Before I break it.
Technically speaking, actually, he is stronger than Darth Vader. Because Darth Vader was dissuaded back to being a good guy.
Anyways,
Kylo Ren is yet to do that. So right now.
Wait, but it took.
Sorry, how long?
Years.
Really?
Yes. Like what? 18 years?
upon years, yeah.
Upon
years upon
years
years.
upon years.
Is that Tim?
Upon years.
Okay, when he comes in, we're gonna say, "All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap."
Oh, that's good.
Right when he sits down, though.
Yeah. So, we had a poll question that we'd like for you to answer.
Yes.
And I'll let Micah read it to you.
Do you have the
I can go
forgot to
ahead.
answer the poll question.
All right. So let me sit you down.
Who's sitting?
He is sitting.
In mind
Oh,
to
okay.
think. Okay, in episode 7.
Here you go.
So, are you kidding me with that bullshit?
It is what it is.
Wait, let me
Read
see.
it.
That's fucking
Same.
shit.
Yeah, same.
Okay, in episode 7, when they're on the Millennium Falcon, and Rey is
Yeah,
trying to
that's what I
fix, trying to fix. Well,
Yeah.
there's
The-
some-
This one.
Yeah, and there's
You
a
got it,
filter.
dude.
that,
Okay, there's a filter for gases or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah, and it started fuming
And
up.
she's fixing that or whatever, and
Mhm.
Finn is going back and forth. Rey wants to know where the resistance base is, and so Finn is talking to BB-8 and trying to convince him where is the resistance base at, because he's not really a resistance fighter, obviously. So at the point where Finn goes and gives him the thumbs up, and then BB-8 does it, this is where the question is. Was it a thumbs up, like, yeah, man, let's do it? Or was it a middle finger? Well, he's saying, like, you screw me over, pal. I'm going to kick your ass, or at least electrocute you again.
What do you
So which
think?
one was it? Was it a thumbs up or was it the middle finger?
I'm pretty sure for it being Disney, it has to be a thumbs up.
Oh, come on, Disney.
Yeah.
Personally, it would be funny if it wasn't middle finger.
So,
But if you had
yes.
if you were to actually have to vote on it, per se, thumbs up or middle finger?
I say middle finger.
Yes!
Middle finger. Oh, God. So that,
And he's a guest, so that's worth like 3 votes.
No.
So
No.
it makes it at least even.
Like 2%.
2%?
2%.
He's only
Yeah.
worth 2%.
2% blue milk.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. All right. So there were, so we'll end up that thumbs up was 54%, and the middle finger 46%.
And Ashley said BB-8 already knew that Finn wasn't a rebel. I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah.
But there was that point as soon as Finn says, "Okay, I'm not with the Resistance," BB-8 like goes backwards, like he's like taken back by. He's like, "Wait, what?" Because just because BB-8 is part of the Resistance doesn't mean he knows everyone in it. Doesn't mean he knows all the spies.
Right,
and
but he was
everything.
going, whoa, things about to go down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember when he. What the. Hang on.
If you
Remembering. It hurts.
like I said, that's what I'm saying. I'm inclined to agree that BB-8 knew that he wasn't. But what I am also saying is that he was working with Poe, and BB-8 didn't know that because BB-8 noticed him first by Poe's jacket.
Yeah, but
So
he
they
was
were
like,
obviously
hey, dude, you
working
like.
together.
Or
He killed.
he killed him and took his jacket.
He's like,
because
I
he
like
was
that
If he-
chilly.
We'll take it.
If he
Boy,
truly
it looks
believed that, then
stylish.
he would still have the problem before they even took off from Jakku. That was
So
already
what if
established.
BB-8 was still suspicious?
BB-8 wasn't still suspicious.
Yes, he was.
No, he wasn't
Yes,
because he was
was.
helping both of them out survive. Judge Cole's. I thought you were supposed to be impartial.
Not right now.
I guess she didn't say she was honorable this time. Boom. I think it's his personality. He was being more sarcastic. Oh, really? Like we didn't know that.
Maybe like a sarcastic themselves.
But he's not K2SO. K2, he would have said that shit.
Yeah, he would.
Be like,
But that's
you probably get
that
some
robots
probability
have
of, like-
sarcasm or the ability to apply sarcasm. So what if BB-8 it was a sarcastic?
okay, fine. I'll put it to you like this: if he has the ability to move, saying it sarcastically, saying like, "Oh, we didn't know that," then it's the same in the same course. He would have done the middle finger instead of thumbs up. You can't have one without the other. It's either this way or that way.
I think it's that way. In the
Which
poll.
way?
The poll suggests that it was a thumbs up.
Well, by saying that, then BB-8 didn't know he wasn't a resistance fighter.
Mhm.
Okay, you're wrong. I'll take that for the day.
She's half right.
I don't know.
Which means she's half
Whatever.
wrong, which means she's wrong.
Half wrong.
And I'm still
Wrong.
right.
And
Half
right.
right. I'm both.
Y'all smell that?
All right.
Like
So
some blue milk.
because I want to get to
Sour blue milk. It turned green.
Ugh.
Izzy's Dear Diary before we wrap up, because that's probably going to be our wrap up stuff.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
We're gonna have you rank
Oh my god, it's a crap.
the Star Wars movies for us, Drew.
Okay.
Okay. Did you need a pen or pencil
No.
to help you out? You're good. Okay.
Just be like,
So
tell up here.
you gonna help him out with that? Like tell him how we rank and all that stuff.
So the Star Wars movies, yeah, like they have names
Oh,
and they go
yeah.
in order.
Yeah. that
So
thing.
Star Wars movies, you're ranking them from 0 to 100?
Mhm.
Okay. And it's
Take care, Billy
within
Joe.
the scope of the Star Wars movies. So, like, if you use La La Land or Indiana Jones or something, it's not comparing it to those. It's comparing them to all the other Star Wars movies.
Okay.
That was the first movie that came to the top of my head, okay?
I
The SpongeBob movie, also, you would not use that as a reference.
Who are you?
I don't know.
You're a monster.
La La Land to Indiana Jones.
And the SpongeBob
How can you say
movie.
Star Wars, Indiana Jones, even in the same sentence as some shit like La La Land?
I didn't watch La La Land. It was the first movie that came to my head.
I didn't either.
Ace
but still.
Ventura. That's another movie.
Titanic.
Okay.
Oh.
Podcast is now over.
Just letting you know
That's
that
what
I'm-
happens when
just
y'all
letting
let
you
me
know
talk.
now. I'm
That's
cutting
what
this off.
happens.
I'm cutting it
When
off.
y'all let
You're
me
like
talk.
y'all asked me to talk.
You, and that's what you got. So,
Well, I thought your
You
shirt says
guys.
you drink and know things, not the right things, apparently.
Do you like
Your shirt, I drink and know things, not the right things.
not good
apparently.
things. It
What
just
if-
says things.
I didn't say good things.
Okay.
Okay,
It
so
just says things.
we're gonna rank the movies.
It's a
When I say we, I mean you.
Mhm.
yes. So
And Sarah's gonna do her best to navigate us through this minefield.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm doing all
you
of
are
them.
yes,
Okay.
you are.
So we're starting with episode 1.
Okay.
Phantom Menace. What would you rate that?
What?
No, Nate. Yes, it is Nate. Okay. And I've been drinking. No, I'm playing. He asks it right there because he's gonna ask about my sunglasses.
Yes.
Oh,
It looks cool,
what's that
okay?
shade?
Oh, thank you. That's what I was going for.
Just take those old records off the shelf.
Okay, so back episode 1,
Episode 1. What would
the
you
maniacal phantom,
rate? Okay.
I think
the menacing phantom.
a 55.
The scary ghost.
Oh, you know this is out of 100, not 56, right?
Okay.
no, it's fine if you want to do 55.
I can't drive.
The reason why is because
Sorry, I had to just get that. I'm sorry, man. That would happen.
the original trilogy, we only saw like single lightsabers, but with Darth Maul, he opened an opportunity, and we saw the double-bladed lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I thought that was cool because it's different from the standard ones, and this can open up more different designs like Kylo Ren's, the Inquisitors.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I rate that.
Excellent. Excellent.
Oh, okay.
Damn it, I was trying to be serious here for a second. Get this man is
Episode
sitting at the
2,
door.
Attack of the Clones.
I want to say I'm gonna go down.
Hmm.
Hey, whatever you
Okay, I'm gonna go down by 38. Because
Yeah.
My back is hurting because of all the pressure.
Under pressure.
Stop singing a song. Why would you? So why are we going down that one?
because like honestly, I kind of wish they showed more of the clones because at the end on Geonosis.
Geonosis.
Okay, so at the end of Geonosis, we finally saw them in action, and that's like 30 minutes at the end.
Maybe, yeah, somewhere around there.
So I wish we could have seen more of the clones in action, it's like the animated series.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to know.
I would definitely critique that.
Their
Critique it for that because it's hard having a movie called The Clone Wars, and
And
it's
then you show
like the last eclipsing.
but like they do show them like how they're being made and who the person they were made from. But I think they should have showed more of them in action, especially Captain Rex.
Yeah.
That would
definitely.
be really good because we saw Cody.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did we see Rex in episode 2?
nope.
We see him in episode 6.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
That they did that.
Okay.
You don't know what we're talking about. It's
I'm
okay,
about to
sorry.
go up on this one.
I know, I don't. Episode 3?
Just Star Wars
I'm
stuff.
about to go up a lot on this one. 78.
Okay.
Because it completes the circle of how we see this little boy become the man in the mask. How, he turned towards the dark side on episode 3. Plus, my favorite fight still is between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Master versus Apprentice, and that's a really hard fight because they're two really lovable characters and they're brothers. So, they're being torn apart by this. So it makes it more emotional for people.
Yeah.
So I rated that 78.
Yeah, it was a long lightsaber fight, but beautiful at the same time to me. I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
He just said high ground.
High ground is a mother.
Yeah, it is, Nate. Okay. Let's stop it. I don't have to relive this every time. Over and over and over.
Okay, so Rogue One?
Which episode is that?
Rogue One.
3.58.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
A little bit down. I'd say about a 65 because
Ooh.
I do
Interesting.
love how they showed how they got the Death Star plans and who was the person that made the hole. But what I love most of all is the Death Troopers
Yeah, that was
because
cool.
they're basically Star Wars version of SEAL Team 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they got wiped out.
A single tear ran down his cheek.
Do you think that they were just exclusive to director Krennic?
No,
why you don't
because
see them anymore?
we saw in like in Rebels. Your cut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in Rebels, we see them again.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's fine. No, seriously. It's
All right, so we see them in Rebels, and obviously there's no director Krennic there. They're escorting and it's a really big kyber crystal, maybe about
Bigger than this table.
yeah, bigger than this table.
It's a big ass lightsaber.
Yeah, yeah, right?
And honestly, you know what that's for
Yeah.
since it's green.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, it was destroyed. So.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So A New Hope?
It's green.
New Hope.
That kind of.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
I'm gonna say about like a 70.
70?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the first Star Wars movie that I did watch when I was a kid. So, and plus, immediately when I saw this lightsaber, I immediately fell in love with it because it's my favorite color still. And honestly, I know like the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, why they had to go slow because back then it wasn't advanced enough for them to hit hard, but
Yeah.
it was still a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see what people are still criticizing on that.
I agree, and we talked about this in one of our previous episodes when David Neola was on, right? About why you're good. Yeah, and we did talk about that. But with that being said, guys,
Hey, buddy.
Hey, everybody.
yeah. Hey, what's up, Tim?
What's up?
Get away.
Tim made it. He's here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, looks like that's gonna be a wrap.
All right, Tim made it. So right now, Tim,
What you got?
we're right in the middle of
ranking
the movies.
And to complete his thought, I think it was a sense of philosophy. He's ranking the movies. We're talking about how like they had old
sticks.
Yeah, when they're Obi-Wan and Darth Vader were fighting in episode 4, it was like slow movement and everything. Like I read it somewhere, I heard it from somewhere. Of course, it's not in the database before you mentioned that BS. But like I remember hearing it to some effect that basically like George Lucas was saying that like he wanted to treat them like as these old like huge like swords that you would need two hands to hold on, like not samurai swords, like the old like knight.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
100-pound swords.
Yeah, like the 100-pound swords. Like you would need both hands. A sword that you see in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like you can't just one hand because it'll break your wrist if you try to maneuver with it.
Yeah.
Like you needed both hands to treat it like these huge swords and everything. And obviously we see a different episode 5 after that, but I think that has something to do with it. But I think that was also probably part for the lack of technology, as you were speaking, because if they have these fragile things, if you hardcore win at, like, oh shit, that goes to 20th one in the last 5 minutes.
Take 568, guys. Yeah.
You're tearing me apart.
All right.
Episode 5. Empire.
You're a bastard. Vader also can't lift his arms above his head while he's holding the saber.
Yeah. Let's check that. Empire Strikes Back.
Can I explain it and then tell the number? Or
If you
Go
want
ahead,
to. Yeah.
so I really like this one, especially on Hoth, because I love that map a lot. But it's still showing more that there are more planets out there in their galaxy, and how they ended it on Han Solo got captured, and Boba Fett's taking the Jabba's palace, and so like then they are gonna make a next one, and they left it on a cliffhanger, and that's what I like sometimes on some movies.
Yeah.
And the whole like, oh Luke, I am your father. I didn't even know that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to rank it up to an 80.
An 80? Okay, very good.
Sorry. 6. Return of the Jedi.
I wish I had an
Revenge of the
Ewok
Jedi.
for a pet. That's for one.
Was that it?
I wish I had an Ewok for a pet.
Oh, yeah? Not a pork? Pork or
Why not?
Ewok?
No,
Yeah.
you'd be more
Why not?
likely to be like, man, I'm really
Yeah.
hungry. Hey, buddy. We've been through some shit, but
No.
you ever heard KFC?
What did you say, Tim?
I said, why not both? You can have both.
Yeah?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Original recipe or extra crispy?
Would the Ewoks eat the pork?
I think the Ewok would.
Oh, actually, yeah.
He's gonna be like, no.
It'd be funny if I was turning on the fire with a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
No.
We actually talked about that on our lightsaber episode. Could you cook something with a lightsaber?
Oh,
we
yeah.
really went into it. We need our overthink button for that episode.
Yeah.
All of you nerds.
Yeah. Oh. So, what's your score?
And then for the final fight, before the prequels, and plus it's personal between father and son,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with the music in the background. And again, it's really emotional.
John Williams.
Makes good music, especially Darth Maul.
It's Michael's favorite. Is it not your favorite? Duels of the Fate?
Duel of
No.
It's really good.
Oh, no, man. We'll get out of here.
I mean,
So I'm out. I should have come.
Well, it's good. I rank it at 60.
I'll rank about a 77 because it was
77?
really good, especially since it was again personal.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. So The Force Awakens.
which episode is that?
Math numbers 7.
60. I'm not good with Roman numerals.
6.
Hey, quick, what comes after 6?
Really?
6, 7, 8.
So for this one, it's showing a new opportunity for younger generations of Star Wars, which I really like because my niece, she was about I think 5 when The Force Awakens came out, and she immediately loved it,
Mm-hmm.
and she got into it. And of course, she wanted to dress up as Rey. And now that she has a little brother, guess who he's going to dress up as?
Kylo Ren. Nice.
My man.
So, and again, with his lightsaber, we never seen before, but now back in Legends and Canons, we're seeing it in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And when Ezra hold up the green emitter. So, again, it's showing more that the lightsabers can be different within the expanded universe.
Pink saber.
Yeah.
What if there is a pink saber? What if Rey ignites her new saber?
It's pink.
And
I'm gonna
it's
die.
pink.
I
Would y'all-
Sarah would
I
die.
would- and then
I
immediately
will
just go
fucking
get
vomit
it.
on myself.
Yeah.
she does this girl power.
I mean, would
I'm
y'all
down.
go for that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
In a second.
but-
In a heartbeat.
I mean, like, what if it was?
That would be badass.
Is pink even part of the dead?
No, it's not.
It's not. It's
Just let it happen.
It's nothing against
Just-
pink. It has very much to do with like.
Can I?
Is it the unicorn? Oh yes, yes. Please go ahead.
We've never seen it till we see it.
Well, what do we see?
Bitch, I thought you were gonna say something else.
No. I mean,
I guess.
Since we're living,
look at him again.
since we're living in Fantasyland, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
Oh,
Tim's gonna now ask him, "Can I get a camouflage one?" Like, he can't even see it.
you're not okay with that, Tim?
Well, if
He's like,
it's
"What?"
camouflaging using the Force is the technique, yeah.
No. I'm saying it's camo. Like, it's not like you can't see it, but it's
Like the
it's camo. It's like
color.
it's green.
I thought you meant like Predator. Like,
No, and then get the leopard spotted one.
That's too far. I just wanted pink. Yeah.
If you look
That's
at
it.
the
Or
blue
like-
one, it has like little sailboats.
Oh my god.
Put wallpaper on it. Oh my god. Snake. Oh well. Okay. I'm gonna go snake skin. But, okay. So Force Awakens.
I'm going to say like a 85.
85? All right.
And then
Very
the Last
good.
Jedi.
This one, I am going to go a little bit down because
Oh wow.
we still didn't allow to answer this question. And that's the reason why. But I don't know. I really loved it. I wish I could see it again, but one time's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like the whole fact that especially like that scene that we were talking about earlier, that fight scene with Rey and Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
I really love that. But
That gets like 70 points alone, right?
Hmm?
No, I said that gets 70 points alone, right?
maybe right. What else? But I do love the new vehicles that they were showing for the First Order, because you see the regular AT-AT,
Mm-hmm.
and then you see the
Huge gorilla ones. Yeah.
yes, and I'm pretty sure it has like more power in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the planet that they were on with the Ice Fox, I find it interesting that most of them were animatronic and not CGI.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I found interesting for that. Micah, you were right on that 70.
70?
Good.
All right. Very good. Okay, so
All right, Tim. Looks like you're dying to say something.
no, I don't know not enough to say. I was thinking about the Dark Crystal.
The Dark Side?
that's a good movie.
Too bad it's a Star Wars podcast.
Just-
We're all quoting Batman over here. Like, screw you, Tim. You can't see anything.
we can outsource.
So
Kylo style.
Kylo style.
so
That's
you,
a thing, Nate.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree.
Yes.
have
Okay.
changed a little bit.
You want to know?
I want to
It's
say
fun.
yes.
Yes,
Or do you
do
want
it.
the re- or you
It's
want
so
the
much
red
fun.
one?
That's blue.
What?
He's a light-sided fool. He wants the
This is
blue
the
one.
blue one?
That's
Yeah.
blue one. You.
Or is it?
If you have your hand on it when you turn it on, you're gonna get it taken off, bro.
Ah!
No more
He
fingers.
has no fingers.
He like leaves his hand.
His thumb like
My hand just seared off.
melts it off like butter.
Where's the red one?
It's in there.
Well,
The better one is right there.
The Last Jedi, which Nate scored 100, just dropped to. It was number 1. It dropped
I
all
did
the
that
way
like
down
8 times earlier.
to
God damn you.
number 5.
What?
Last
No,
one?
That
that's no. That's just simple between the guess.
Just a guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
because you've only had 2 people been on.
What's at number 5?
What if we were able to
Jedi.
come back in if
With
these
the
guys
guest.
were going to be able to come back on the show?
Just to get there. Yeah, I think that would be a great thing.
So I think we're going to do that for anyone watching the show. And if you're a previous guest,
The green one's
we may get
The green one is
your
really pretty.
Wait, you have all 3 of them?
Yeah.
we may get your score for the previous guests who've been on the show, so we can get your score so we can tabulate it as well.
Yeah.
Your ranking and grade for The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Nate says he's punching the wall 3 times over the scores.
Carlos,
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. All right. Well,
I didn't think it was possible to respect him even more.
even more.
Even more.
Well, Drew, thanks for ranking those movies for us. We appreciate it. And is that the one that you feel best with, Tim? There, Qui-Gon Jinn.
No, I felt better with the blue
It's
one.
like quite
The blue
a
one?
gem.
That's what you're saying,
loose
right?
from 6.
The blue one. You felt more comfortable with it in your hand.
I like the blue one.
Oh, you like
this
the
is
blue
I
one.
like the green one.
Oh,
She
you
likes
like
the green one. I haven't.
That one is heavy. That's heavy.
I think like the
Yeah.
green one has the best tilt. Not necessarily looking, but
You're all.
on the
If
dark
this was
side.
pink, I would freak out.
Oh, trust me, if that was pink, I'd freak out too.
Put on.
Oh my god.
What? Rude.
I didn't say nothing. How was that?
Well, we got about 10 minutes left. So
10 minutes to duel.
Which means, Tim, you gotta get all your talking.
Wow.
Tim, you gotta get your talking points in there.
What was my? I don't even know
Well,
what-
first we want to do Izzy's
Oh,
Dear Diary. I'm gonna try to find you some Dear Diary.
Should I wait?
No, go ahead.
play that song about was it good? God damn it! I was thinking of earlier.
These are my personal thoughts. Please don't shun me for them. It's a diary entry. Here I go.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a song to play. Sometimes people cry or something. What is this song?
No.
Some-
No,
What's
we're gonna-
what's
I
the
know you
one
know
from?
Ariam?
It's REM, but I don't know the damn name of the song.
Everybody hurts, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
There's not. It is Ariam, isn't it?
No, Lewis, I got you.
Oh, that's nice.
No, Louis.
That's
Everybody
nice.
Okay.
Hurts.
Everybody cries.
You got it? Okay.
So here I go.
Everybody hurts sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
This is all Izzy.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. December 20th, 2017. Dear Diary. So on Sunday, the 17th of December, the podcast and I went to go see The Last Jedi. We literally have been waiting forever to see this movie, and the day finally came. I was shocked. I cried. I was mad, and I was happy. I felt completed. So, all at once. Oh, oops. Can't remember my diary entry.
It's the emotion.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't even
The
handle
next
it.
day, I was talking to some friends about The Last Jedi, and guess what they told me? They hated it with an 8. Diary! I felt my heart break the way Reyes did when she learned that she had no parents. I was so hurt and confused as to why they would say that. I just don't understand. Like, did you even remember to eat your veggies before seeing the movie? I'm sorry for that. Please excuse me. Love, Izzy.
Oh, that was a heartfelt entry. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your emotions, Izzy.
Sorry.
Well, we know that those aren't your friends anymore.
They are not my friends anymore, actually. I hate you! Traitor!
Oh, the weakest link.
Well, it has been getting a lot of hate and a lot of love. Very polarizing movie.
David would love
Very
it.
eye-opening.
But thank you for sharing your Dear Diary moments with us. Very emotional. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're going to continue with this segment in the future. Hopefully we can put together a complete Dear Diary from all of us.
And Tim, I got a segment for you. It's called Timmy's Tantrums.
Yeah. Instead of your diary entry, we're gonna have a tantrum. Yeah.
I just don't understand.
So thank you for sharing with us, Izzy. We appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And how much time we got left? Got about 5 minutes left. So we can either wrap, or Tim, you can start us off on your scientific method on how the First Order was able to track the ships through hyperspace.
Maybe we should call it a wrap.
Is it gonna
Because
be?
after last night, I was like, maybe I don't know enough to even, like, I'm just speculating.
You talking about the science behind it? Or?
Yeah, the science behind it. Because I have to think about, like, the energy that hyperspace engine was putting out.
Oh, okay.
So,
I mean, well, not going into the science, but we know that on film they've mentioned that this is possible, or at least being worked on.
Mm-hmm. In Rogue One.
In Rogue One, when she's reading off the programs.
do you think it's possible that the hyperspace was shooting out radio waves?
Or maybe photon energy, or
Well, a certain frequency is what I'm thinking of. You have a certain frequency level, like that it stays at once it's charged, and they've captured that wave, and they have it. So it's almost like they're tuned in on the radio, and now they know where they're at, and they can. That's how they track them. So that little bubble that they have in front, like you can think of that as some kind of their own dish capturing that signal from that turbine, whatever you call it. So when that thing starts going, it captures that signal, and then wherever they go, they know where they're at. It's kind of like how we look out and capture signals coming in from space somewhere out there, and they're like, "What the heck was that?" I mean,
you know what?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. What happened? Next movie, First Order will go plaid. Spoiler confirmed. Hashtag confirmed.
Hashtag we've gone overthinking, and now we've gone straight to crazy.
Did y'all
Straight to ludicrous.
I just thought about Snoke didn't know that they were able to do that.
But then they still had the ability to get it. What do you mean?
Like Hux knew that they could track them.
They had technology that they could track them?
Well, yeah, he was like, they got away, and then Hux was like, no, I have them tied on a string.
Short string.
On a short string. So Snoke didn't know about it.
Yeah, and then when they re-enter the scene, he's like, a short string indeed, General, or some shit like that.
Isn't that weird?
Well, I think that goes to show that Snoke had his own life outside of that, in the sense of like, if he was a prominent figure, even in politics of some sort, it wasn't like every day that he was with the First Order. Yeah. He entrusted Kylo Ren, he entrusted General Hux to do the shit necessary. But much how like Pimper
Yeah. Now you know what I have to do, right? No. I'm gonna have Palpatine with the big hat. Pimper. I'm gonna do it.
Oh Christ! Get the award. Much like how Pimper out. No, I did that one first. Much like how he had his point in the Senate, and then he became Chancellor and Supreme Chancellor and all that shit. Like he wasn't in the day-to-day, like he was giving out orders, he was being informed, but in the day-to-day scheme, like he wasn't giving out. He didn't have a full presence like Count Dooku did, or even in that case, how like General Grievous was. He was like kind of like behind the shadows, giving out commands, but didn't necessarily mean he was there on a day in and day out sort of the military aspect. So you had General Grievous, and you have Count Dooku are now Kylo Ren and General Hux, and you have Snoke in the background. So that's what I'm saying is like we don't know anything about Snoke yet. No, and as I mentioned earlier before you got here, that no true theory about Snoke hasn't been proven, but it hasn't been disproven either. And because he died so quickly, so he possibly does have another thing where he knew about Palpatine, because he was possibly in politics too, but he didn't want to stick his nose out. Like he said Palpatine was foolish.
Sarah wanted to mention what Nate said.
Yeah, Nate said that Snoke had to go shopping for them luxury coats.
Sales, baby!
He's a fashionista.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess he was looking more so at the coats and not the lotion, because Jesus Christ, you see this man's face?
Yes.
Moisturizer.
Yeah.
It's important.
Is he gonna pull a thrift? Was it the thrift shop?
The thrift
shop?
Yeah, the song.
Macklemore?
Yes.
Hey, Macklemore, can we go thrift shopping?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Could be.
It's your grandpa's or your granddaddy's color. What he says in the song.
I don't remember.
Well, Tim, next
I can
episode,
take grandpa style.
we're gonna maybe you can do some research on
Pimper
hyperdrive technology and
Pimper Palpatine.
Pimper Palpatine.
Hashtag Pimper Palpatine.
So, great episode. Thanks again, Drew, for showing up.
Thanks,
We
man.
appreciate it. I was gonna see maybe the girls and Tim, if y'all can ignite those, or we could get a good picture so I can have for our episode kickoff thing.
Izzy,
Alright.
Izzy, you gotta get the break on. You're the only dark side of it.
So,
How is a person with the red saber doesn't even like the red saber?
fine.
Give me that goddamn bit. No, no.
Whoa, watch it with that.
well.
Okay.
Well, thanks again, Drew. We appreciate it. Thanks for bringing some of your items so we can check them out and
You're not
play
even
with them a
letting
little
him
bit.
hold his own saber.
Yeah, well.
Nope.
Look, he
He
has
owns
a
that.
BB9. Yeah, over there.
BB9E.
Yeah. Woo!
He's in disapproval too.
He didn't like it. So from all of us at the Force Choke Podcast, thanks for tuning in. This is
Pimper Palpatine.
this is your friend, the Porkster, and I am Lewis.
I am Izzy.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Tim.
You know his name?
You know his name, damn it. And Drew, thanks again for showing up. And that is episode 22 of the Force Choke Podcast. The council has spoken, right? We did speak.
Yes.
Who spoke?
You spoke.
We
Too
spoke.
soon?
Too soon.
Too late?
Too late. Too early.
All the time.
Too fast. Too furious.
Too fast for y'all.
Sorry, like I'm over.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Right in the side like this.